things now. And well, again, thank you for joining us once again. And our topic for today is the importance of fruits and veggies in our diet. The overview of our discussion today, the things that we're going to address are, of course, what is National Fruits and Veggies Month? We're going to take a look at the current American diet, some statistics on what we as Americans eat. We'll talk about what a food desert is, the benefits of fruits and veggies that are provided. We want to talk about the daily recommended allowance for each of these fruits and veggies. I'll show you some things you may not know, some fruits and veggies that are very little known here in the United States because, of course, they come from the Orient and from various parts of the world. We're going to talk about proper storage and handling of fruits and veggies, ways to prepare fruits and veggies to obtain their optimal benefits, and then we'll take a look at what a healthy plate looks like. So let's get started with our discussion. This is National Fruits and Veggies Month. It's celebrated, of course, in the United States in September, and it's a time when we promote the health benefits of consuming fruits and veggies, and we try to encourage people to increase their intake. You know, for a lot of people, fruits and veggies are not something that they regularly put on their plate or are willing to try, or they just have preconceived notions about what vegetables taste like, what they do for you, how to prepare them. And so I kind of want to do an eye opener, if you will, to let you know that fruits and veggies are a very important part of our diet and part of our health and well-being. So, looking at the current American diet, dietary guidelines for Americans state that the average American diet consists of excessive sodium, saturated fats, refined grains, and calories from solid fats and added sugars. You know, it's sad to say one of the statistics we did not put on this that I usually talk to my diabetic education class about is that the average 8-year-old's consumption in the United States today is 80% fast foods, processed foods, and vending machine foods. And those don't include fresh fruits and vegetables. U.S. current diet statistics show that a diet that is high in ultra-processed foods, which is 55% of the calories that most adults take in, excessive sodiums, these refined grains, and they fall short of the fruits, vegetables, and dairy that the body actually needs. The average consumption of whole foods, whole grains, and healthy fats is below the recommended levels. But you shouldn't be surprised. The majority of Americans don't cook meals at home, don't buy fresh vegetables. Everything is quick. It's got to go in the microwave, it's got to go in the air fryer, or we don't eat it. Slow but recent declines in the consumption of ultra-processed foods and the increased awareness of healthy eating is a significant part of being healthy. And we're looking at about 60% of Americans that consider what they eat as being somewhat healthy. Being healthy versus being somewhat healthy can be very different. So when we, again, take a look at the American diet, you guys know what we're talking about. The KFC, the Pizza Hut, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, and I'm not trying to pick on any particular fast food, but ultra-processed foods account for about 55% of the total calories we as Americans take in, and that starts with about age 1 and older. And we're looking at over 60% of those are being consumed by our teenagers and by our young children. Most Americans don't meet the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables and dairy. Sodium and fat. That's a major problem in the United States. The American diet typically includes excessive amounts of sodium, which of course, sodium chloride being our table salt, saturated fats, and calories from solid fats and added sugars. Those solid fats are coming from animal meat. And the added sugars are being used as one of the three major ingredients that we should either limit or avoid. And those are salts, fats, and sugars. Our protein intake for adults is around 15% to 16% of our daily calories, but it should be anywhere from 15 to 30%. Our diet quality scores, the average healthy eating index score for the United States population is around 58 out of 100, which is indicating a need for the improvement in our diet. And that is to include fresh fruits and vegetables. So what's a food desert? People say they've heard that term, but they really don't know what a food desert is. A food desert is defined as a geographic area where residents have limited access to affordable and nutritious food, not fast food, because you can find a fast food restaurant on just about every corner, along with liquor stores. But according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a food desert is defined as a census tract where at least 33% of the residents in the area live more than 1 mile from a grocery store, in an urban area more than 10 miles from a grocery store, or at least 50% of the residents live more than a mile in an urban area or 10 miles in a rural area from a grocery store. And the median family income is less than 80% of the country's median income, or the poverty rate at 20% or higher. So what we're saying is we don't have the availability to get to some place that has healthy foods. So we alternatively pick the fast food restaurants, the ice house, the gas station, and we're eating foods that are not healthy for us. And so without knowing, many of us live in food deserts. And when you talk about an area that is in lower income and transportation is limited or inaccessible, people don't have much choice in picking what they can eat. So let's talk about the benefits of fruits and vegetables. One, it improves digestion. The fiber content in fruits and vegetables promote healthy digestion by adding bulk to your stool and facilitating regular bowel movements. Fiber is essential for the movement of waste. It can enhance your mood. Some fruits and vegetables contain nutrients that support brain health and mood regulation. For example, vitamin C and folate are essential for the production of neurotransmitters included in the mood control. So yeah, fruits can make you happy. You have increased energy. The vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables, such as iron and magnesium, provide energy to help to combat fatigue. Hydration. These fruits and vegetables are rich in water, and it helps to keep the body hydrated. For determining what fruits and vegetables are best for you, variety is the key. Consuming a variety of fruits and vegetables ensures that you get a wide range of nutrients and healthy benefits. You aim for a rainbow of colors to include different types of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. As Heather indicated, the pretty colors aren't just for the kids. We need those. Fruits and veggies are essential components of a healthy diet, providing numerous benefits for our overall health and well-being. Fruits and vegetables are nutrient rich. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber, especially those fruits that you can ingest the skin on: apples, peaches, pears, plums. They provide essential nutrients that support our body's functions, including our immune system, our bone growth, and our energy production. And having fresh fruits and vegetables can reduce our risk for some chronic diseases. Consuming these fruits and vegetables has a link to lowering our risk for chronic disease such as heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancers. They contain phytochemicals. They have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that may protect the body against cellular damage. And of course, healthy fruits and vegetables help with weight management. They're generally low in calories, high in fiber, making them filling and aiding in weight management. They can also help to reduce that sense of hunger and overeating. So what are the recommended daily allowance for fruits and vegetables? Adults should aim for about 1.5 to 2 cup equivalents of fruits and 2 to 3 cup equivalents of vegetables daily. These recommendations are part of the 20 to 25 dietary guidelines for Americans, which suggests filling half of your plates with fruits and vegetables. Children need a variety of daily amounts of fruits and vegetables, typically 1 to 2 cups of fruit and 1 to 3 cups of vegetables, depending upon their age, their gender, and their activity levels. So fruits and veggies are very important for our children. I have to tell you a quick story. My grandson, when he was about 4 years old, came to my house one day, and I had prepared a meal which had green beans. He took one look at the green beans and he looked at me and he says, "Grandma, I can't eat those." And I said, "What do you mean? Why can't you eat those?" He says, "Because I'm allergic to green." And I said, "Really? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry to hear that. But are you allergic to purple?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, that's good, because if you don't eat your green beans, your butt's going to be purple." He found that quite disturbing, and his comment was, "Please pass the ketchup." And he proceeded to put ketchup on his green beans, and he ate them. Kids mimic what they see. And if we as adults are not consuming healthy foods, what makes us think that our kids are going to? That's just food for thought for the moment. So when we talk about the healthiest fruits and vegetables, there's no single number one healthiest fruit or vegetable. Instead, a variety of fruits and vegetables, as fruits especially, berries, avocados, pomegranates, are nutrient dense and they have benefits for health due to their high antioxidant, high fiber, high vitamin, and high mineral content. The healthiest fruit and vegetables depends on your individual health goals and your preferences. So it's important that you're focusing on the diversity and the variety of fruits and vegetables that you take in. And that's what's recommended. Focus on a diverse range of fruits and vegetables. Example of healthy fruits and vegetables: One of the best things for us are berries, because berries are fruits that we consume the seeds, and the seeds provide fiber, which in turn provides that bulk that our body needs. Citrus fruits, such as oranges, lemons, and limes, provide vitamin C. Green leafy vegetables, such as spinach, kale, collard greens, those are healthy for us, providing iron, providing vitamin A. Cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, all provide healthy nutrients as well as fiber, and they're filling. And of course, tomatoes. Tomatoes are actually a fruit. Most people think a tomato is a vegetable, but tomatoes provide us with some vitamin C, some vitamins and minerals that the bodies need. So I wanted to show you these guys just as a matter of information, because I was very curious about, I know we as Americans, we eat green beans, we eat broccoli, we eat cauliflower, we eat apples, oranges, plums, and peaches. But throughout the world, there are other vegetables and fruits that are very healthy for us. And I just kind of wanted to give you some examples of what some of those were. Durian, which is a fruit, to me looks like it might be a cross between a pineapple and a jackfruit. Dragon fruit. You can find dragon fruit in most of our grocery stores here. Cherimoya is actually a vegetable. Rambutan from the Middle East is also a vegetable. There's a Romanesco broccoli, which I found very curious. I'm almost tempted to try it just because of the way it looks. You have the chayote, the jackfruit, and mangosteens. All of these are healthy fruits and vegetables that come to us from other parts of the world. And sometimes we have to be brave enough to try other things that are healthy for us. So I just kind of wanted to give you an example of some of those that exist out there. And so when we talk about our fruits and veggies, it's important that we understand there is proper storage and care for our vegetables. One, to provide good health. Two, to extend the longevity of these fruits and vegetables. Because the last thing you want to do is buy something healthy and then not store it properly, and then it goes to waste. And so I kind of put this in here to kind of give you some ideas on how we should handle or process our fruits and veggies. Refrigerator temperature should be at about 40 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Always refrigerate cut or peeled produce. Store vegetables and fruits separately. Keep apples, bananas, broccoli, and cauliflower, as well as cucumbers, onions, pears, potatoes, and watermelon away from other produce, because they can affect how quickly other items actually ripen and rot. If you notice something, if you're in the grocery store and you pay close attention, you'll notice that the bananas are always separate from the other fruits and vegetables. And of course, if you put watermelon in the refrigerator next to onions, your watermelon is going to taste like onion. So it's important that you know how we should keep and store certain foods. Now, pantry foods. Things should be packed away in a cool, dark place like your pantry or your cellar. Garlic, onions, and shallots. Hard squash, such as winter squash, spaghetti squash, and butternut squash. Sweet potatoes, regular white potatoes, and yams should all be stored in a pantry. And watermelon that has not yet been cut should be stored at room temperature. Things that you can store on the countertop. You store it loose and away from sunlight, heat, and moisture. That would be your bananas, your citrus fruits, such as your lemons, oranges, grapefruits, because they actually will last longer if stored on a countertop. You can store them loose or in a mesh bag, but you need to make sure that they have exposure to air. Stone fruit, such as avocados, apricots, nectarines, peaches, and plums, can be stored in a paper bag, then moved to the refrigerator when they're in their last few days before they start to change or go bad. And of course, tomatoes. Tomatoes can be stored on the countertop. They don't have to be refrigerated. And if you'll remember, when you go to the grocery store, they're not in the cold section of the grocery store. They're at room temperature. What should actually go in the refrigerator? Store in plastic bags with holes in your produce drawer, unless noted. That would be your beets and turnips. Remove greens and keep loose in a crisper drawer. Your berries, cherries, and grapes you want to keep dry in a covered container or a plastic bag. Broccoli and cauliflower can be stored in the refrigerator, or it can be stored as I indicated earlier. Carrots, parsnips, you should remove the green areas off of those. Okay, that's like the tops of the carrots, you should remove those. Celery, corn, they should be stored, corn should be stored inside their husks. Cucumbers, eggplants, and peppers should be stored on the upper shelf, which is warmer than the lower shelves of the refrigerator. Fresh herbs, such as basil. You want to keep the stems on the basil moist and wrap loose in a plastic bag. Your green beans should be stored in the refrigerator. Lettuce and leafy greens need to be washed, spun, or patted dry, wrapped loosely in a dish towel or a paper towel, and then placed in a plastic bag in the refrigerator drawer. One of the reasons you do that, and I've learned if you put like a paper towel in the bag with your spinach and lettuce, it helps to absorb the moisture that is being released by these green leafy vegetables and prevents them from wilting quickly. Melons, mushrooms should be kept dry. Your mushrooms should be unwashed in stored containers or a paper bag. Peas, zucchini, summer and squash and yellow squash should all be refrigerated. To learn more about how to process or how to store these fresh fruits and vegetables, you can go to the website www.heart.org/healthy for good. And the actual promotion is eat smart, move more, be well. And of course, this is copywritten by the American Heart Association. And so we talk about fruits and vegetables. And one of the common things that's asked is, okay, so how do I eat them? And so you can prepare fruits and vegetables by eating them raw or cooking them using methods like roasting, steaming, grilling, sauteing, microwaving, or stewing. Additionally, you can blend fruits and veggies into smoothies. Make a fruit or veggie kebab. Add them to salads and dips. Incorporate them into dishes like soups, stews, pastas, and wraps. And some of the healthiest vegetables are those that we consume raw. So when we talk about preparing these vegetables, to prepare fruits and vegetables, it's important that you wash your hands and all of your surface areas when you're working with fresh fruits and vegetables. Then rinse all of your produce under cold running water, scrubbing firm items with a clean produce brush, and then drying them with a towel, a paper towel preferably. Trim away any damaged or bruised spots on your fruit for fruits that have the edible skin, and peel them if necessary. Cut the produce into desired shapes, keeping in mind that cut produce should be refrigerated at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below to prevent spoilage. When we're cooking our fruits and vegetables, the best way to cook fruits and veggies depends on whether you prioritize flavor or nutrition retention. For maximum nutrition, steaming and microwaving are excellent, while for richer flavor, roasting and stir frying, caramelizing sugars, and deepening taste. Consider food types. Delicate greens benefit from a quick saute, while heartier root vegetables, such as carrots and potatoes, are ideal for roasting, and fruits like apples can be baked with spices for a sweet treat. So what does a healthy plate look like? Well, during National Fruits and Veggies Month, we want to promote the health benefit of consuming fruits and vegetables and to encourage people to make an increase in their intake. In doing so, it's important that we know just what a healthy plate looks like and how much fruit and veggies we should be consuming. So the recommendations are that half of your plate be fruits and vegetables, 1/4 of your plate being your protein or your meat source. You have approximately 2 tablespoons of fat, and 1/4 of the plate is your carbohydrates. As a reminder, a healthy plate is more than just what you put on the plate. It's what we eat, drink, smoke, and do to keep our bodies healthy. So what I wanted to do is to demonstrate for you guys just a healthy fruit and veggie appetizer or snack, or what we're going to demonstrate today is a mango salsa. This mango salsa can be eaten with chips. It can be eaten on fish tacos. It can be used to grill or broil chicken or pork loin. It's a very flavorful dish, and it's very easily prepared and enjoyed. And so I'm going to make that for you. And as you receive your copies of the presentation, you will have the actual recipe that you see here. Now, before I do that, there were some questions that I want to go back and address. One of those questions is, what are some of the optimal fruits and veggies I can eat to manage prediabetes? Well, when it comes to the hierarchy of fruits and vegetables, fresh is always best. If you can't get fresh, then your next option or your next choice should be frozen. Canned fruits and veggies should be your last choice, simply because they are generally preserved with salts, fats, and sugars. But if canned is all you have access to, please look for those cans that say no salt added or low sodium content. Or if you're looking at things that are packaged, you want them packaged in water, not in sugars. There was another question that was asked, and I believe we may have answered it, but we're going to go back and just make sure. And by the way, if anybody else has any other questions, now would be the time to take yourself off of mute, and I'll do my very best to answer those questions for you.
Which foods help lower bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol?
Okay. It was the question about which foods lower bad cholesterol and increase our good cholesterol. Now, for fruits and veggies, most of them contain little to no cholesterol. And it's not so much what the fruit or veggie is, it's how it's prepared and what you're adding to it. Unfortunately, a lot of our cultures teach us to add things to add flavor to our fruits and our vegetables, sugar being one of those. Another being animal fat, such as bacon or pork, or using bacon grease to season foods. And so those are the things that add the cholesterol. Our body makes all the cholesterol we actually need. But the rest of the cholesterol that we take in comes, the majority of it comes from animal fat that we consume. And so the best way to increase your HDL, which is your happy cholesterol or your good cholesterol, and lower your bad cholesterol is by consuming a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables, green leafy vegetables, and those fruits that you eat the skin on. Okay.
Should we avoid eating fruit at night?
That really depends upon your chronic conditions. Fruit at night, I don't know if you guys heard the question. The question was, should you avoid eating fruit at night? If you're diabetic, there are certain fruits that you should avoid in general because they are higher in carbs. And of course, carbs turn to sugar. But if you don't have diabetes, having a snack of fresh fruit is going to be much healthier for you than having a bag of potato chips, 3 Oreo cookies, or candy. So it really depends on the individual's health condition. Myself personally, I am a diabetic, but one of the things that I might have before I go to bed would be 1/2 of an apple with the skin on or the peel on, and a tablespoon of peanut butter. And the reason being is anytime you take in carbohydrates, you want to make sure that you're taking in carbohydrates that are high in fiber, like the apple and the skin, and you always want to have some protein with that, the peanut butter being my protein. And the reason behind that is protein slows the digestion of your carbs. You're still going to get those carbs, but you don't get them all at once. You get them over a longer period of time, giving the body the opportunity to utilize those sugars that it turns into, but not all at once, which causes the elevation in our blood sugars, especially for people with diabetes. Are there any other questions I can answer before we do our quick food demo?
So this other one was, can you provide some suggestions for recipes suitable for individuals managing prediabetes?
Some of the recipes, now the American Diabetes Association produces an annual cookbook, generally somewhere around Christmas time. And they provide a lot of recipes that are very healthy for pre-diabetics and diabetics. A pre-diabetic should be eating like a diabetic. And that means that their meals consist of low carbs, low fat, high fiber, high protein, and low sodium. If you're writing this down, I'm going to repeat it for you to make sure you got it. It's low carb, low fat, high fiber, high protein, and low sodium. And so the American Diabetes Association also produces some books that are culturally appropriate for recommended diets. One of them is a Tex-Mex cookbook with many, many recipes. There is a American Diabetes Association soul food cookbook. There is a number of different recipes that are available online through a website called Eat Well. And these recipes are free, they're accessible from the internet, and they generally provide recipes for foods that are, just as the diabetic mantra says, low carb, low fat, high fiber, high protein, and low sodium.
Unless there's other questions, that was the last of the questions.
Okay, so if you guys will give me just a moment, I'm going to turn our camera around so you can see me make this mango salsa, okay? Let me put my apron on. You got the top of my head, I think.
Either it's up on your head or they can't see the table.
Okay, well then they don't need to see my head. They know what I look like. And I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Today, I'm preparing what's known as a mango salsa. You know how they do on TV where they show you something that you put together and then da-da, and all of a sudden they pull it out of the oven? Well, we kind of did that. Prior to the class, I went ahead and I chopped up my mango. And so if you can see the table here, I've got my mango diced in small cubes. And our ingredients are our 3 ripe mangoes. And I'm going to put this in our mixing bowl here, and hopefully you can see that. And see, once you actually cut up the fruit itself starts to produce its own juices, as you can see as I pour this in this larger bowl. So those are our 3 mangoes, okay? Besides just the mango, then we add diced red bell pepper. This was a large red bell pepper, as you could see, so I didn't want to add a whole one. So I've done half of the actual red bell pepper, diced. And see, it adds beautiful color to what we're making. Then we add our red onion. And I cheated, guys. So that I could do this on time, we went ahead and got our chopped red onion. So we're adding our red onion. Oh, if you guys could smell this already. We're going to add our minced cilantro. And I love cilantro, so I'm adding the whole thing. And if you guys could see this, the colors are just beautiful. We add our diced tomato. And this is the equivalent of about 1 diced tomato.
Hold on 1 second. There's something going on.
Hmm?
Oh, crud.
digest.
If you can hear me, you may just have to click on the three dots next to the top right corner of her camera and spotlight her.
I don't see a spotlighter.
She's pinned, but we on our side, all we see is your screen that has joined from Zoom. But and I have it on standard view for speaker.
Let me stop sharing really quick and then try to share it again.
Okay, there you go. You got it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
There we go. Okay. So you guys saw me, the last thing I added was our diced tomato. Okay. And then depending upon how much heat you like, I'm kind of a wimp, so I usually don't add a lot of jalapeno. But other people like it hot. So for this, I'm going just to add about a tablespoon of the, well, 2 tablespoons of the jalapeno. And then, of course, all we're going to do is just mix up our ingredients together. And this makes a beautiful array of vegetables and fruit. And if you guys could smell the aroma, oh my. Okay, and then once we do that, you add just a pinch of salt. And people say, why would you add salt to something like that? Well, the salt helps to bring out the flavor of the fruit, the sweetness. And I mean just literally a pinch. And I only use the kosher salt. And so I'm adding my pinch of salt. And then, of course, to help to preserve our mixture here, you want to add a little citrus. And you want the juice of about 1 small lime or half of a large lime, like I've got here. And you're just going to squeeze that onto the salsa. We're going to blend it again very thoroughly. And there you have it. I'm going to tilt this up a little bit more so you guys can see just how pretty that is. And that can be served with chips. And of course, I do have some of the chips here. It can be actually, one of the things I like to do with this particular salsa is to take fresh salmon, put your salmon, your raw salmon, lightly seasoned in a foil pack, and then add the salsa on top of it, closing the foil pack, putting it in the oven and baking it for about 10 to 12 minutes until the salmon has turned color and without making it dry. And you'll notice that the flavor of the salsa is now all through the salmon, and it is wonderful. So guys, again, we want to make sure that you're aware that this is Fruits and Veggies Month. You should eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. Remember the colors of the rainbow. And be adventurous. Try new fruits and veggies. You never know. You might like it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.